Well, howdy doody, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I love Tuesdays. This is our finance day, and I love it. And my co host, of course, Ramin Modiri, is here with me today. Welcome, Ramin.
Oh, thank you so much. Glad to be here as always.
Right on. We're streaming live today on E360 TV, also our YouTube channel, the Laurie Davis Show host, and Self Worth, the Missing Link Superstars Facebook page. So you can catch us in three places live, or even after the show, you can go in and watch at your leisure. So we really love that feature that you can do that. So today, just to give you a little review, some of the things that Ramin has researched and come up with for us have been movies, money movies, and I watched a really good one the other night. I think I let you know about that. It's a 2023 film, and it's all about that too, and a relationship that went bad. And they've got all the elements in there, but an up and coming female trader who was just superseding everybody in the office, including her partner. So it that didn't go over well. But anyway, it was good. And we've talked about the 15 best places to retire or to live on the planet based on economic climate and structure and sound government and healthcare and all of that, and books that you've used to educate yourself. I think there were 20 of them altogether. And I take notes during this class. So this show, I have to remember it's a show, not a workshop. But if you are going to listen to this, I would advise you right now to go get a notebook and just have a Tuesday notebook just for Tuesdays. That's what I have here, just for Tuesday's show right here. All right. So over to you. What are you going to talk to us about today, Ramin? I'm all ears. Over to
All
you.
right. Well, as always, it's such a joy to be here. And again, I've said it before. I love Tuesdays. So here we are. With all these geopolitical events happening, last week, and I know many people are glued to their TVs, or they nowadays it's mostly on the social media, or going online and finding what is the latest news. So with the all kinds of sources which is available for us, I wanted to share some of the online sources that I use for when it comes to finances and investing, as a general, also for the news. So I thought it might be timely to share those with you and with our audience. So this is a topic for today. And
Welcome.
again, these are my favorites. These are the things that I've used in past. Some of them might go back 4 years. They ran online. They were, print publications, but they have continued to now. And I've found them very helpful. I put like 4 criteria for my choices, so I'll share those with you. Number one, it was time efficiency. Actually, there are three. There's a time efficiency that what many years ago I wrote an article about how to read Investor Business Daily in 20 minutes. And that was 55 pages of print newspaper,
Wow.
investment paper, full of good stuff. I mean, it's like you can sit there for a whole day, and there's so much. So, but time, as you've mentioned many times, is our biggest investments. It's our biggest commodity. So that was, for me, it was important how to prioritize things. So that was one thing. I want to have a site or online source that is efficient, time-wise. Number two, I want to make sure they're free. At least most of it is free. Most of these places, they do have premium, but nowadays we have access to so much. I thought, well, for our audience, let's start with the free version, and then if they like to, they can continue with that. And the third part was, I want them to be unbiased and independent. We can watch in the United States, you can watch Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. They all give us the news, but there's still always the tilt that sometimes they focus on one thing more than another. So those are my 3 criteria. So this is what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to have for again, different subjects or topics, I will have my choices as far as the things that I want to share with you. I'll start with something general. And I love this is a new website. It's a new online source. And what it does, it um, it takes all the information from all kinds of sources, and then what it does is it structures them. Like if you want to know about politics, if you want to know entertainment, about finance, and then has really good reference section for you know interesting things that you can actually, if you want to continue, and it could be photography or other things. It's fantastic. Years ago, this magazine started called Week, WEEK, and Week magazine started taking all the sources and taking the best of every single source and for the week and made it a magazine. This one does it on a daily basis. So the name of this online source, if you're ready, is 1440, which is 1440 dailydigest.com. So it's 1440 Daily Digest. And what it does, I mean, you can subscribe for free, and they will send you every day. They will send you an email telling you what happened, you know, today, for instance, and summarize everything. Again, stock market to politics to so entertainment. So I find that, and it's so easy. You can just say, well, they just, it's a narrative of things, and you can go to the source if you like. All right, so that's for the general news and entertainment. Since we talk about finance and obviously investing, and I thought so we're gonna emphasize more on that now. When it comes to general finance, something if you want to do like financial planning, you want to understand some, or you want to do your mortgage and you want to see, well, how much it will be if I want to get a loan, if I want a car. One of the best sources is it's called bankrate.com. Bankrate.com. And that one is full of financial information, and that's a good, again, it's free, so there's no subscription for that. The other one that many people use for many years is the finance.yahoo.com. It comes from Yahoo. It's finance.yahoo.com. It gives you anything about from stock investing to financial information, the news. So I mean, Google has its own, but these are the ones that I have used, and I can vouch for them that they've been helpful. If you want to go more on educational side, we have Wikipedia, which tells you everything about everyone. Then we have Investopedia, which
Oh, wow.
is invest and then Opedia. So Investopedia is basically, it's again not like a Britannica, it's like a Britannica Encyclopedia Britannica. It's like it gives you any subject that you want. It helps you. It's not like implementation of it. It just gives you, you're curious about a term, you go there. The last one is very comprehensive. Again, general financial and investment information is benzinga.com, which is BENZINGA. And that gives you a lot of information regarding, up to date about finances. So from there, I'd like to go to some like publications. Again, I've been part of this. Most people know, for instance, about Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg. One of my favorites I did for many years was Financial Times. But most of them, these are premium. They give you a teaser, and then once you want to read more, they say, well, you can subscribe for $1, and then it becomes like $30 a month or whatever. So I'm gonna skip that. I mean, these are really good ones. I'm gonna emphasize the ones that they're still premium, but they give you a lot of information. My favorite nowadays that we talk about geopolitics, my international, besides the Financial Times, but this one I love, and it's economist.com again. Economist, it's a magazine which started, believe it or not, in 1843 in London, and it's a fantastic source if you are internationally oriented. You want to know about culture, the finances. It is again, it's called Economist, so it does everything related to economy. So that's my favorite. The other publication I've been subscriber since 1985 is It's Investor Business Daily, but in order to use their um, website, it's investors.com. So you can go to investors.com, and that was founded in 1984. So I got started subscribing a year since it was founded, and it competes with Wall Street Journal, but it's a lot more database. And it was, for me, who am more analytical, it was wonderful. They would have charts in there, and so that's still going on now. It's all digital, because I still have papers from, like, it's so interesting. Some of their books from like late 1980s, 1990s.
Mm.
I just get one as a vintage. It's wonderful to see what the news were. So the third one, I would say Barron's, which is big. It's part of Wall Street Journal, but it's a weekly. But on a daily basis, um, you receive information. It's Barron's.com again. So this one is for the publications, and that's the sources that I would use. As you know, every day we have some kind of economic news, so we need a calendar. Like, I know you're very big on planning your day, your week, your month ahead. We have to do the same thing with the economic events. For instance, I, as a trader, I want to make sure I know, I'm aware when the jobs numbers are coming up, when the inflation number is coming up, when is the central bank, in this case, like our Fed chairman, is coming with their interest rate decisions. So we need to have a calendar, and the best source for that is you can go to forexfactory.com, which is Forex factory.com, and you go to the calendar. It is it also, talks about the current events. It's what affects the currencies, but their calendar is very comprehensive, and that applies to many countries as well. So that's more of a heads up as far as planning your
Mhm.
week ahead.
Mhm.
um, Next, for our audience who are technically oriented, they like to look at charts. And again, my whole goal was the efficiency of time. I want to see as much information in one place and as accessible. And again, I want them to be free. So this goes to charts. People who like to look at graphs, but also see, different analysis of the markets, of the stocks. And so these are the ones, that the three of them I will give you, because there's tons of them. And I know our audience will have many, many of them, but these are the ones that I've used. The first one, and you've heard from me this one before, is finviz.com, which is finviz.com. Is a fantastic all-around website. It has come a long way, and I've been using them for a long time, and they're getting, every time they just get better. The only setback with that is these pop-up, these ads.
Oh, yes.
I know. So, but other than that, it is a fantastic. And I've done actually classes on how to actually get the best of. I like to do that, is just get the best of these sites. So like Finviz is one of my favorites. So that's one that combines a lot of information, but a lot of fundamental information as well. The news. The second one, which is also free, they do have a premium site, but if you really like charts, it's called stockcharts.com, which is like a stock and then charts.com. Fantastic charts, analytical, and you can use indicators, and it does have, for instance, Canadian stocks. It has UK stocks. So if you want to analyze, of course, besides United States, you have access to these. So it is a wonderful. And the third, my chart that I will recommend is bar chart, and bar chart, which is
Mhm.
BARCHRT.com. That's also very comprehensive. It gives you candidates. It's all of these give you like a screening, and you can find a lot of information. So um, that's as far as the visual side. How are we doing so far? Are the
Well, you know how you and I get excited about numbers,
yes.
and the very first thing you shared, according to my notes, was 1440. Well, second thing you shared, 1440dailydigest.com. Well, as luck would have it, and this is totally off topic, so excuse me, viewers, but Ramin and I are always, 1440 is an AM radio station here where I live that plays music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. What are the chances of that? 1440, Wetaskiwin. There's a plug for them.
Yeah.
So when you put that in there, I went, oh my gosh, does
Well,
this
you
ever
won't
end?
forget
Does this
this. That's
ever
for sure.
end? Yeah,
That's
I've written them all down. This is good.
excellent.
Even if a person just took, what I'm thinking for me, if I just took, one a week or one a day or something and just spent a half an hour to familiarize myself, and that's something because, can't do it all at once. But I was thinking, yeah, if I just go into one of these once a week, like Friday afternoon when I'm,
Yeah.
don't have any appointments and such, and just go in and investigate and educate myself. So thank you.
No, absolutely. And I think one of our goals, depending on like audience, I know we have some students from the universities, they're finance students. And sometimes, they get so bogged in the, whether it is the academic side, more of the, from the educational academic, or they get these like Robinhood and Reddit and, these social media sites from TikTok or Instagram. um, I'm hoping to give them other tools that they might not have been familiar with. So speaking of like Friday, there's this one you can use on weekends, and this is pretty good if you want to do some research. You love stocks, but you don't know where to start, or you want to narrow it down, or you have your favorite stocks, whether it's, I don't know, it's like in banking, let's say Bank of Montreal, or the Toronto Dominion, or when it comes to Apple or Microsoft. These two give you the best fundamental research and also give you a heads up to go deeper if you like. So these, I call them my research. Besides Finviz, these are really good ones. These are go really deep, and they're free, but they also have premium if you like to choose. So the first one is called Guru Focus. So it's about all the investment gurus, and it comes
Oh,
after that.
cool.
Guru Focus. So it goes after it, like Warren Buffett. What is Warren Buffett doing? What is he buying? And they look at the big funds, hedge funds. What are they doing? And this is something that you can again dive deep, and then do it on the weekends and do your research. So it's called Guru Focus. And the second one is also pretty good. It looks at the valuation, looks at the the growth side of things. It looks at the profit side of things. And it's called chartmills.com, which is again chartmills, MILLS.com. And that's for your research. So that's your weekend work. And as you know, I'm big on commodities. So we'd like to have um, some sources that you will find that a lot of government resources are excellent, excellent free sources for information. So for our commodities, and also having the exchanges, they offer you fantastic uh, opportunities to get more information. So um, one of my favorite commodities website is CME Group, and cmegroup.com is an exchange for almost everything, from financials to energy to all kinds of commodities, and you get so much information, free educational tools, it's just tons of information. So uh, again, if somebody is a serious trader, this is one of the best places. Again, it's free, so you don't have to do anything, and they give you so many indicators, and so it is. So it's cmegroup.com. The other things, like I do a lot of grains. I used to do a lot more, but like corn or soybean and wheat or cattle or other things that you're interested. Again, the government plays a really good role in this. It's for free. It's USDA. So it's the United States Department of Agriculture. So it's USDA.gov. And we do have it in Canada as well. But again, a lot of times these um, information affect the whole world's pricing. So that's why this is really good. On Thursdays, we come up with some latest releases of the government information. So I encourage you to do that. And then the third one, talking about energy, crude oil, is the EIA.gov. This is the Department of Energy, so it is the EIA. So you see what is the inventory of the crude oil. People who are looking at, what happened in the Middle East, they see, well, gas prices go up, well, then they come down, and then they go up again. What are the reasons? And they've got a lot of good analysis. I mean, there's OPEC. I mean, there's a lot of other places to go to, but these are the ones that I feel it will be most beneficial to our for our common audience at this time. If you're into options, that we will talk in our classes, we've talked about, we do have some of our audience who do options trading. There are many sources, but again, I go to the source of it, which offers free information in Chicago, which is the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, it's CBOE.com, which stands for Chicago Board of Options Exchange in Chicago. If you're really interested in geopolitics, I mentioned about economists, and I know, again, people might be watching ABC News, or they're watching CNN, or, as I mentioned, Fox, or um, NBC, or but what I like the analysis of the events, and this one is by George Friedman. He's very savvy in Middle East, and this one, they do have it free, but I would encourage even getting their premium. But they do have enough information on the free site. So it's called geopoliticalfutures.com. So the geopolitical, that just right there tells you what it is. So it's geopoliticalfutures.com. And
Oh, keep talking. I'll just mute myself.
geopoliticalfutures.com is an excellent tool to get really deep analysis of the politics around the globe. We are in earnings season. Every 3 months, the companies have to come up with their reports about their earnings, how they did, what is their projection. Right now, like for instance, the banks have started. We will have this week, for instance, we'll have like Tesla and Netflix. Big companies are coming out. They have Goldman Sachs. So the best one, they many sites, but the earnings whispers, like earnings and then whispers.com is one of the best sources to to look at what is they're anticipating, what is their projection. So that's another really good one. Now, in the past 10 years or so, more of our investors have really gotten involved with the funds. Since 1950s, mutual funds started, and then people got involved in 1980s with 401ks, with the retirement plans, and they would put their money in the mutual funds. In 1993, we had the first exchange traded fund, which made it a lot easier for average investor to get involved with investing, almost like a trading of the funds. So you don't have to wait till end of the day. So they're called exchange traded funds, or we call them ETFs. So there are two sources I will give you. Again, for the people who are interested, maybe they have their retirement funds in some of these funds, they want to do more research, and these websites specifically for ETFs. So the first one is ETFDB, like a database, etfdb.com. And that gives you a lot of information, a lot of history. And the second one would be etftrends.com. So they allow you to do the what are the holdings in this ETF, what are the history, what they have done, how much are the fees. So everything is broken down, so you can get access to that. So that's more of a big picture. People again who like to have, they don't want to buy the stocks, they want to buy the themes, for instance, or just let the markets do their work. So anyway, we're good so far. We got some information.
I am, and I apologize. I forgot to turn my phone off and it rang. So I apologize for the interruption. But this is terrific because, as a novice, as you know, that I am, I wouldn't have any idea where to go. I wouldn't even have a website in my head. I might Google something and hope to find something, but that could take forever. But having these specific sites where we can actually, I've logged them all down here in my notebook. So, it's, I'm on to my third page.
Well, as a matter of fact, I mean, if anyone is interested, I can put them, in a 1 or 2 pages. We can email them, or I can email it to you.
Whatever. Maybe we could do that for our class. They have to be in our class to get that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries.
So you're absolutely right. As I mentioned, there's just so many. First of all, there's a lot of marketing tools out there. So sometimes they fish, and then they get you on. Nowadays, if you have like Telegram or WhatsApp or Viber, or all of a sudden a group says, "Oh, we're gonna make you rich. Come to our group," and then they have a website. Then they give you like a 1 minute of advice, and then you got to pay like $1,000 subscription fee or whatever. Oh, if you want to make so much money, let's say cryptocurrencies and all that, and that becomes a hook. So these are legit. They again, I've been with them for many years. They've been very helpful to me, and I've been involved. So it kind of get the juice of everything rather than trial and error. So one thing I have to also mention, there are just so many free, good, right to the heart of things available sources that comes from exchanges. And what I mean by that, like stock exchanges, like for instance, if you go to nasdaq.com, which is for the Nasdaq, or we have NYSE.com, any stock exchange around the world. I mean, you want to go to Buenos Aires, you just Google Buenos Aires Stock Exchange. If you want to go to Mumbai, or if you want to go to, FTSE, or, in Tokyo, you go to Nikkei. Every single exchange has its own website with tons of information. So, for instance, you're interested, I mean, any country, let's say I know you love Italy.
Yes.
I know about Italy. So what I want to go is MIPDAL, and I can go to their, you just put Italian Stock Exchange, it will take you to MIPDAL, and it gives you any information you want about any company, and it's for free. It's free, and it makes you feel, it's a good feel to get to know what they're doing. My days when I started in 1980s, it was very difficult. I didn't have internet. So I
No.
had to, I shared this little story, and then we go back to more of these. In 1980s, when I used to trade, let's say in India, they would be open like 2 hours a day. It was either 2 or 3 times a week. That's it. Most of the things was paperwork. So I would put a trade. It will take, days to clear that. It goes from, they have to do handwritten. They will take it to, from the broker to, it would just go around, and it will take you 3 days to get the confirmation. So nothing was instantaneous. It was very tedious. So things have really changed. I mean, we are so blessed that we live in an environment that we have access to so much information. So take advantage of that. If you're interested in anything in Africa, for instance, or Middle East, you can go to their exchanges. So that's one thing I want to make sure that it's free. The other thing, free and excellent tools are your brokerage firms. I mean, if you have, for instance, uh, account with Charles Schwab, if you have account with TD Ameritrade or Fidelity, you don't even have to have the account, but they have wonderful financial advice. They give you investment tools. Of course, their goal is to, move the money to their firm, right? So, but with that, they still have many good information. So some of, again, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, they got Fidelity, Vanguard, PIMCO. There's just so many out there, and they're for free. So, but if you have a platform, take advantage of that as well. The other thing I want to emphasize is some of the best, again, information comes from the government. Now, as you know, interest rates have been going up. So what happens is in United States, we have our regions, we call them, the federal aid, as far as the reserve boards, and each region has its own website, and you find tons of historical information. I give you one, but you can do more. For instance, New York Fed is New York FED.org. We have St. Louis Fed, we have Atlanta Fed. They have, I mean, they have so much information that the other sources, they take those information, they sell it back to you. So seriously, I mean, they just copy it and then say, oh, this is the latest information. It's just, as an average investor, we feel, I don't want to say handicapped, but we don't feel we are capable of maybe analyzing things, so we'd rather have somebody else does it. But sometimes it's, again, I'm visual, so I see the charts. They offer you some of the best historical charts for free, so you don't have to, again, subscribe to anything. Again, my goal was the time efficiency, unbiased. This is coming from, again, well, depending on your view of the governments, but anyway, this is coming from the government information that we have to rely on. So, the Fed and basically, these are excellent resources. So they are free, efficient, and hopefully unbiased. So
Cool.
the other thing is, if you are into we talked about traveling, and we're looking at, again, geopolitical things. So if you want to learn more about the government's politics or their economic, I give you three more, which are very comprehensive. So again, this is for more of an international minded
Right.
audience that they want
Right.
to maybe invest overseas. So the first one is good old CIA. So it's a cia.gov slash the dash world dash fact book. So all you have to do is just, if you want to Google it, just Google CIA World Book. I mean, a World Fact Book. It analyzes every single country They look at, again, from economic point of view to political point of view, and it's free. It's a huge resources that you have access to. There are some sources that you can use, but then if you want to really get to the meat of it, then you have to pay like a one lump sum, or one fee. The second thing is our International Monetary Fund, and the website for that is IMF, it stands for International Monetary Fund.org. And that one is, again, it works at international, but especially emerging developing countries. Those are the ones in needs. They help them out, but they analyze the whole world's their GDP. What is the potential for the growth? What is the demographics? It goes to a lot of details, and that's it's a fantastic resource for you if you like to go to. And the third one, again, international, it's the worldbank.org. And World Bank is like a bank, but it's for the world. After World War II started, it's the one that really it gives loans for the nations in need. So they have to, as a like any bank, they have to keep good records. They have to analyze, who they're loaning to, although there's a lot of politics involved. But anyway, but they also offer you tons of information. Again, it gives you a better understanding of what is happening geopolitically and what is what they're thinking of a future. Let's say I've done a lot of studies, for instance, in Africa. I'm very, again, do a lot of work with emerging markets. So basically what happens is these developing countries sometimes are under radar. If I'm a fund manager and I can invest the money, my clients' money, well, I want to go, we call it the familiarity. I go somewhere that I know the most. Let's say I'm in the United States. I invest most of money in the United States, let's say technology companies. So a lot of times these developing countries, or not even close to that, they are under the radar. So you don't get a lot of information. You don't, once you read Wall Street, not Wall Street Journal, but let's say you're watching CNN or you are looking at Business Week or, reading that, there's not a lot of information from the financial point of view. But places like World Bank or IMF, they give you tons of information. And I'll give you another bonus for the internet, because again, I love international cultures and all that. That MSCI.com, and it's a Morgan Stanley Index composite. They do a lot of investing around the globe, so they give you lots of information purely on the investment side of things. So it's MSCI. So that's also is really good. There are a lot of indexes tied into that. So if I want to see how's my portfolio doing, I use the MSCI as a barometer and say, well, MSCI China or MSCI India, or I can compare what they have used that composite. So basically, with that in mind, and I thought I didn't want to bombard you with too much. I want to categorize things. So whichever you are interested in, you can go to. But these are the ones that time is so precious. These are the ones that I go to. Of course, I have my own platform. For instance, the Trade Station I use for my stock analysis. The charts is beautiful, and that one is purely technical. So, and it's not, you can try it for free. You can sign up, but those are not, it's a platform. But these are actually websites you can go to, get as much information as you want. And again, as I mentioned, my first criteria, or the three criteria, was the free, unbiased, and timely. You get lots of, this will keep you busy for years to come. Just forget about, there are millions of websites. So
Right.
yeah.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to live long enough?
You are. That's you're gonna.
Oh my gosh. I went,
Yeah.
oh gee. Okay, where were you when I was 30?
No.
Oh my.
Well, we'll find out in my recovery. But we have
Yes.
events coming up, so we will discuss that. So.
Right
Uh,
on. Well, I think that is extremely informative. And, I've sort of put a little star beside the ones that I
yes.
was, intrigued by. And of course, the first one was 1440.
Mhm.
And I liked the one, let me see. Um, oh, where was it? Chart mills. I'd kind of be interested in that, I think. And always oil, because I'm an oil country.
That's right.
And my dad was in the oil business as well. He worked at a big refinery as their purchasing agent and bookkeeper and all that kind of the admin side. Um, so he was always researching, where the oil stuff is and what's going on with oil, and of course because of where I live, for sure. And not so much the government ones, but I love the other one I loved was the Fed, looking up the location with Fed.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'd like that too because and of course all of the international stuff because
Yeah.
just because
Yes. Yeah.
I love all cultures and I've traveled and I like to do more. So yeah, the international is very appealing to me too. So I'm sure when we share this list again with others, um, maybe we'll ask them to do that, just to star off, check off the ones that like grabbed you as you were talking. I was listening and nah, not so much, but certain ones for sure.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. As I said, I mean, even if you're really getting into stocks, and that's why I mentioned about stock exchanges, like say Toronto Stock Exchange. It will be interesting just to go how they present things, the history of it. I mean, they actually have. I mean, it's a lot of, especially people who like the history. I learn a lot from it, although we're doomed to repeat it. So, but still, it's fascinating to
Mm-hmm.
read and understand it. But they again, the beauty of it, they're all free. You don't have to really, if you have a specific again goal in mind. For me, I encourage all members. I mean, that finviz.com, I really love it because it's visual. It takes everything. And if you're into analyzing charts, like stockcharts.com is really good. Again, these are free. So I don't mean to emphasize that free uh, too much, but I am doing it because it allows you to test it. Once you like that, then you know what grabs you. Maybe we can start the
Yes.
subscription to a specific, for instance, like well, our website, RM Smart Investing. What we've done, we have the the, the the compilation of everything from commodities to options, trading strategies, economics, all of that, everything under one roof with educational, tools, with the I mean, with the videos and all that. But these, they prepare you. So once you come there, you're, ready for action. And these are, we go to the meat of it. But again, these are something that I would encourage. And I also, as I mentioned, a lot of our finance students who like to get more involved and they have
Mm-hmm.
specific goals that they want
Mm-hmm.
to, achieve. I think they will find these informative and
Mm-hmm.
helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And speaking of that, I think we should take a few minutes and promote some of the things that we're involved in so that the public knows and our viewers know. So, the first thing is we do have 100 workshops in finance. We call the product 100 Shades of Prosperity. And 50 of the workshops Ramin facilitates, and that's basically about things that he's talking about today, and all of the technical, mechanical side of finance and investing and trading. And then my job is to provide what we call the soft skills. And we're on tonight at 7 o'clock to do that tonight, our first soft skill workshop. So it's all about being able to let go of old beliefs we hold about money, and where did we learn those beliefs, and are we still operating using those beliefs. And some of those would be comparable to your biases, Ramin. I mean, there's an overlap sometimes, but we don't care. We can't hear things enough. So If that's something that is of interest to you, just contact me and we'll give you more information about that. That's a great project. It's a 1 year mentorship and facilitated by two people who've been around for a little while and who know a few things. So we're willing to share that with you. So please, if you want to enroll in that, let us know. And looking forward to November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I'm putting the speakers calendar together today, and we have 21 amazing speakers coming to the table, including Ramin, some celebrities, and some ordinary people. And it doesn't matter because we have all got a recovery story. So we're putting on a 3-day summit. You can come into the summit at any time at your leisure. A nominal fee of $25 to get in, admission. And we have everything from recovering from gang life, recovering from divorce, recovering from death of a loved one. You name it, we've got it. So looking forward to that event coming up. And let's see, what else have we got cooking? Oh, well, we have another product coming out in January. And I've just spent 6 weeks with one of our colleagues, Sylvia Somerville. She's an author, accomplished author, and she's been writing, publishing, editing, illustrating, marketing, and selling her own books for 70 years. So what better mentor could we have for the writing department? So while she was here, we hammered out a workbook and a process that includes the 15 essential ingredients you need to know how to write a bestseller. I was able to name 2 of them. So what I knew about writing, we could again put in a thimble compared to her. And I thought I knew how to write. Yes, I can write a chapter, I can write a paper, I can write a publication, I can write a proposal, I can write all kinds of things. But when it comes to getting that material between 2 hard covers and your name on it, that was the struggle and is the struggle. So that's going to be amazing. That starts January 3rd. And we're going to do it virtually so we can take care of our clients that aren't here and can't get here. So we have a nice system, 12 workshops. And one of the things that is in that package is your own, she's registered with the Library of Congress. So you'll get your own ISBN number and a barcode that protects all of your potential titles. Even if you change your title, you can change it under she's registered, and we can do that via her. So it's all good because she owns a publishing company that's going to publish the books. Hello! Does it get any sweeter than that? We don't have to deal with a whole bunch of people. I love it. So those are some of the things that we have on the docket, and looking forward to us coming back together tonight, Ramin, at 7 o'clock Mountain Time to do that workshop. So anything else from you on your side of the fence? We've got a few minutes, maybe about 5-6 minutes left. So anything else words of encouragement maybe for those of us who are not struggling, but are not educated. I mean, where were you? Because we were not educated. Even though my dad was the money guy and the numbers guy and taught me lots, but not anything near this.
No, I mean, it's the human nature, what we are focused on, obviously our own specialties, and we rely on experts. Unfortunately, sometimes those experts don't know as much as common sense. I would say we do, in the sense of common sense. And that's what, again, I value your expertise as far as when you're talking about so-called soft skills with our belief systems, because they play a big role. So I could have a lot of, again, educational or mechanical knowledge, but sometimes implementation of that hits an obstacle. So sometimes, again, we become our own worst enemy. So what happens with a lot of us, again, if I'm a plumber, or if I'm an engineer, if I'm a doctor, if I'm a carpenter, well, that's what I know the best. So I rely on other experts. One thing has happened again with the access to so much information, it has taken us to the other side of things, that we think that by just learning a little bit, we know everything. And that's why we have to be careful. And that's what I want to just share these websites that I've gone through. It is just get you familiar, because it gets you at least not threatened with some of the terminology, but also maybe it starts interest. But there's nothing like really a sound foundation of understanding of how, let's say, investments or finances work. This is an old saying, and I've used it many times. Little knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge. So sometimes
Right.
we don't know what we know what we don't know. We will seek advice, but a lot of times we think the things that we don't know, and that becomes dangerous. And the problem is, again, we have to be very clear in our limitations, but also, as I said, if you have the right foundation, I believe everyone is capable of achieving their potential. So there's a lot. We are, like I think you mentioned last time, we are, God has created us in a magnificent way. So all of us have so much potential. Unfortunately, through the environment that we are in, those belief systems have hindered us. And some of us get a little more lucky than others. It happens, but still we do have that potential at the right environment. So it is important to have the right mentorship if it's possible. That would be helpful. But we have to be careful. Again, it's a lot of times that the knowledge that comes our way, we got to have a little filter for that as well. Again, that's what my first thing was, like, biases, right? Unbiased sources, places that they just give you the facts and you be the judge of that, and whether it's your truth or not, but they are facts. So
Mhm.
that's what happens.
Absolutely. Totally. Well said. So today, Tuesdays, I'm going to sneeze.
That's
Excuse me. Today, Financial Tuesday. So every Tuesday, Ramin and I are on deck to share some aspect of what we're doing and what we're working on. And every little bit of information I know that I can get and gain has been helpful. And it's actually making me think about things in a different way. And not just in the money, but in my lifestyle. What's supporting me, what's not supporting me. Is that a good move? Is this not a good move? So you become more, what you're doing is you're helping us to bring things to the front burner. They might be in there already in the back of our mind, but we procrastinate and we don't address certain things. And so always being reminded of what we need to know to feel happy, to feel abundant, to feel blessed, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, this is the end of our day today. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis. You've been listening to the Dr. Laurie Davis Show, streaming live. If you've missed the show, you can go in and get it. E360 TV, our YouTube channel, Laurie Davis Show Host. Just search that. Brings up all of our shows. And also on our Self Worth the Missing Link Superstars Facebook page. So for the rest of the week, we'll not be doing any live shows, but because I have so many shows in my archives now, if you need a Laurie fix, just go in and play an old show. I mean, Ramin and I are laughing here over me watching the Carol Burnett show. How old is that? And I'm still watching it. They have it on, you can stream it now and on, certain channels. And I watched that as a teenager. So I love archived shows. It's never too late to go back and get a Carol fix. I like a little humor just before I go to bed. I don't watch the news before I go to bed. So anyway, have a great day. Thank you again, Ramin, for being
My
here and
pleasure.
taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us every Tuesday. I really appreciate it. And it makes for a very great show. So bye for now, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week ahead. Bye.